What's going on, everybody? This is Brian Mazika, the Fight Guys and a Forbes contributor, and I have WBO champion Jamel Herring. What is going on, bro? How you feel today?
On, man? I'm good, man. I'm just out here right now being a fan, supporting my people.
Yeah.
I'm happy to see that my man, Amir Iman, he just recently got signed. So yeah. I'm happy to see that. I'm happy to actually be out here around that announcement. I'm just enjoying the atmosphere.
Yeah, man. Talk a little bit about that, like your love for the sport. Period. Like, there's a lot of fighters in the game for different reasons. Talk a little bit about your love for the sport.
Like, with me, I always said that I'm a fan first. Mm-hmm. So of course, I always tune in to everything. You know what I mean? I want to see those who I came up with, succeed and do well. I never want to be that type of guy as I want the spotlight just on me. Like, no, there's plenty of love and action going around for everybody. But the way I got into boxing was, I was never a street kid. I'm from New York, and I never wanted, my parents never wanted me to be involved in the streets. So I looked at sports as my way out, and boxing just attracted me, and I've just been sticking with it.
Yeah, man. That's interesting, because a lot of times, a lot of people are like, well, boxing saved them, and
right.
And there's nothing wrong with that. But there are fighters in the game who that's not their story.
Right.
So obviously, you just came off the victory over Ito,
mm-hmm.
And so you talk a little bit about that fight, that experience, what the challenges were.
That brought the best out of me, because I was going in as the underdog,
mm-hmm.
So. No one was giving me, well, not, I want to say no one, but not too many people giving me a shot at winning that title. So that brought out the best in me to prove everyone wrong, because, I always been the underdog, I felt, just in life, in life in general. I've been, from my background, I've been the underdog. So going into that fight, I just wanted to prove everyone out there that they were wrong. And I'm just honored that Ito at least gave me the opportunity, because he didn't have to. He didn't have to give me that shot. But he gave me the shot, and I made the most of it. And that's why I like to tell people out there, when you're given the opportunity or somebody opens a door for you, make the most of it, because you may never get the opportunity again.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And now you're in a position, obviously there's a lot of politics and stuff that go on with the different champions and stuff like that at different weight classes.
Right.
But you got other champions in your weight class, Tevin Farmer, mm-hmm. Gervonta Davis. So do you have a fight already set up, and who is that fight against?
I have a fight set up because I have to take care of my mandatory challenge
right.
In November, around Veterans Day, because we all know I'm military. So of course, shout out to Top Rank, because they like to promote around you and who you are. But Lamont Roach from Maryland, who I have a relationship with, because I've known him for over 10 years or longer, and that's my mandatory. And that's another thing. And the great thing about it is that I'm a top-ranked fighter, but I'm going up against a golden boy fighter, on the other side of the ring. So that just goes to show you that, these promoters are doing business together when it's necessary.
Right. So speaking of that, obviously one of the main questions people want to ask is Golden Boy actually is locked in with the Zone, just like Matchroom and so on and so forth, and then obviously Gervonta's with Showtime. So obviously, I would assume that as a champion, you want to fight the best fighters out there. So, is there one particular champion that you're looking like, man, when I unify, this is the first place I want to go?
It's crazy, because if you look at my last fight, Miguel Berchelt was one of the guys that kept coming out.
Yeah.
Miguel Berchelt, who's under the same umbrella.
Yes.
And like you said, he got in the ring. He actually Unification bout. I actually, agreed to it, of course, because like I said, I wanted to keep that momentum going. So once you win that title, of course you want to win more, more titles in the future. But that, I don't know what happened. His team turned away from the fight, and we could never get it done. And it just goes to show you, even with fights in-house, can be difficult to make. But I mean, there are champions out there that still want to make unification matches, and at least with Top Rank, I can say, like with them, if it makes sense, we can do it. Like if I like, you seen Jose Ramirez went over to fight Maurice Hooker, on the Zone,
on the same card as
exactly, same card as that. You know what I mean? So like I said, if it makes sense business wise, the fights can happen.
Yeah, absolutely. So that Berchelt fight is the unification fight that you would look at first.
I thought it was the easiest. I mean, of course, that was the first one I was looking at one point in time. But I got tired of arguing and going back and forth with him through the social media, because I don't like to get out ugly and out of character. You know what I mean? So if I just feel like I gotta do all that, it ain't worth my time. So if the fight comes, it comes. But I'm not gonna continue to keep chasing, fighters down because then they started looking at it as, oh, he's just begging for a fight or whatever. But whatever, like I said, it doesn't matter who it is, in my opinion. If it's unification and it's easy to make and we can get it done, I'm all for it.
Yeah. So, that's interesting, man, because a lot of times, obviously there's a big responsibility on branding when it comes to fighters. And a lot of guys will do whatever, to get put on or get whatever to take their name to the next level. But if I'm understanding you correctly, you're saying I'm not willing to compromise who I know who I am just so I can try to, get ugly to promote a fight.
I mean, like I said, I get what you're saying too on that. I mean, I'm gonna go out there and push for it if I really want it. But at the same time, I'm not gonna jump at a character being, too disrespectful. Being somebody that I'm not. You know what I mean? Like, there's ways you can go about demanding something. Like I said, I got, for the most part, thank God for my fan base at least. Like they are vocal and they make it known. Like, they'll go like, why don't you fight Jamel Herring? Fight Jamel Herring. And then I'll chime in and I'll put my 2 cents in it as well. But I don't gotta be ugly to where it gets personal. And that's what I mean. I don't want to get it to the point where, we're making it personal and it becomes more than just boxing. It escalates outside of the boxing ring. And that's not what it's about.
No, it's not what it's about. I totally agree. Now, I want to ask you about a couple other fights, a couple other situations that are going on. So what is your opinion about the Andy Ruiz and Joshua rematch and pushing it over to Saudi Arabia? What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, I'm thinking that right there is the business side talking, if you're asking me, because it seems like they're pushing towards more where the money is for that fight and the market than anything. But I'm like, for the fighters at least, I mean, if there's a lot of money for them to make and for them to better themselves and their families at the end of the day, I mean, that's good. But it was obviously mind blowing to all of us out here when we got the news. But like I said, it's business, and that was strictly a strategic business move on their part. But I know for the most part, Anthony Joshua just wants to get his belts back. So if it doesn't happen in Saudi Arabia or whatever, I know that he wants to get his belts back, and so he's gonna have to try to meet in the middle with the Ruiz team as well to get the job done.
Absolutely. All right, Jamel, I appreciate your time, man. Thank you so much, and I wish you nothing but the best moving forward.
Appreciate you too, man.
All right, bro.